What do you think a perfect school life would be? Imagine being allowed to play computer games during classes. Sounds fantastic, right? But that's exactly what it's like at our school. Hi, my name is Liam. One day, my classmates and I came to a computer science lesson. We walked into the classroom and saw a girl we didn't recognize. Her usual costume caught our attention. She was cosplaying Kissy Missy from Poppy Playtime. I recognized her right away because I loved games too. The girl had probably just been transferred. Wow, the teacher would faint if she saw her. We wanted to come up to her and introduce ourselves, but she left and only came back after the bell. Hi, I'm Miss Wilson, your new computer science teacher. Everyone laughed. It seemed that girl had a sense of humor, but it turned out she wasn't kidding and really was our new teacher. We were shocked. She looked like a high school student, but her looks weren't the only weird thing about her. Miss Wilson liked Poppy Playtime too, and she said we could play any games we wanted. We spent almost the entire lesson doing just that. Some students played Genshin Impact, and some preferred League of Legends. I chose Call of Duty. Can you imagine that? Miss Wilson only explained the new topic at the end of the class. Soon enough, the whole school was talking about the new teacher. We'd never had anyone like her teach us before. I used to play Poppy Playtime and decided to do so again after that class. So I came home and got immersed in it. Before I noticed it, it had got dark. At some point, I got an idea. What if we did a show based on that game? It would be so cool. The next day, it turned out I wasn't the only one who had started playing Poppy Playtime. In the next computer science class, Miss Wilson let us play games again. Everyone was happy, except a nerd called Harry. Shouldn't we be studying? What an idiot. Who would want to study when you could play games on your phone instead? In the end, Miss Wilson gave him some sort of assignment, and the rest of us kept playing, having fun and discussing our achievements. After the lesson, I came up to the teacher and asked her to tell me more about the game. I want to create a show based on it, and I need your help. You're great at it. Miss Wilson's eyes lit up. She agreed to help us and asked me what kind of show I was thinking of. I told her that I often hung out with guys who organized shows on a square in the city. Miss Wilson said she wanted to meet them. We decided to go to their loft after classes. As we were leaving school, I noticed Harry. He was loudly complaining that Miss Wilson wasn't teaching us properly. I'm telling you, he was a blockhead. Everyone in the loft liked Miss Wilson. The organizers of the show liked her cosplay. They approved of my idea for the show. Then Miss Wilson got another idea. The whole class should take part in the show. We could use different computer programs, make special effects. It would be cool. Damn, she was a cool teacher. The next day, Miss Wilson told my classmates about the show. Everyone wanted to participate, except for Harry, of course. We started brainstorming. One of my classmates turned out to have a powerful projector, which meant we could show videos on the walls of buildings, laser special effects, a fire show. Oh, we went big. There was a girl in our class called Cassie. She also suggested something interesting. Why don't we cosplay the characters from our favorite games? Everyone liked that idea. All that was left was to get the organizers of the show to agree. After we had discussed everything, Miss Wilson suggested we have fun and play games some more. Everyone was doing that when the principal suddenly walked into the classroom. Of course, we quickly put our smartphones down, stopped chatting, and pretended to be reading textbooks. The principal handed Miss Wilson some documents and was about to leave. Then Harry suddenly opened his mouth to say something. He probably wanted to rat us out. I kicked him under the table just in time. After the lesson, I couldn't help but threaten him. Don't even think about getting Miss Wilson in trouble. She is our best teacher, and we are incredibly lucky. Harry didn't say anything, but another classmate of ours suddenly broke in. Liam, you talk about her like you're in love. That was crazy. I didn't listen to any more of his nonsense and didn't even reply anything. I completely immersed myself in creating the show. I stopped sleeping at night and was constantly working on my phone or the computer. My mom was nagging me as usual. One day, she came into my room and abruptly pulled the power cord of the computer. I didn't even have time to save what I was working on. When will you stop playing all these games? I told her I hadn't been playing, but making a computer science project. Mom didn't calm down and sent me to bed. Like I was a little kid. I started to stay at school after classes to discuss with Miss Wilson. One day, we were planning on going to the loft to discuss preparations for the show. I was waiting for her on the porch when Cassie suddenly came up to me. You're good at computer science, aren't you? I didn't understand the last topic. Could you help me? I apologized and said I was running late. You should ask Miss Wilson for help. She's cool and she'll explain everything clearly. For some reason, Cassie got angry and left. I didn't understand what upset her. Miss Wilson and I discussed Cassie's idea with the organizers. They liked it, and we ordered the costumes. The next day, I told everyone which characters they were going to cosplay. Cassie got Brawn, a toy dinosaur. That made her angry again. She turned red and asked me why I had chosen the lamest character for her. What was wrong with Brawn? I didn't get it, so I didn't change anything. By the way, I chose Huggy Wuggy for myself. Kissy Missy was his counterpart in the game. Miss Wilson and I were responsible for the main performance with laser accompaniment. When Cassie saw my costume, for some reason she lost it and left. She was a really weird girl. After the computer science class, Harry suddenly asked me aside. He wanted to join our team. He was interested in creating special effects and learning how to use new programs. That surprised me. I didn't want to deal with him. I would have told him no, but Miss Wilson overheard our conversation and allowed him to participate. I soon started to notice that the other teachers disliked Miss Wilson. At first, they were just whispering behind her back, but then they started to gossip about her openly. They were appalled by her behavior, and especially her appearance. Our math teacher was the most indignant one. She had never been anyone's favorite, and now the students hated her even more. I was sure all the teachers were just jealous of our Kissy Missy. She had become a real school hero, but it wasn't just the teachers who criticized her. One day, I was sitting in my room and working on the computer. My mom came to my room and started driving me up the wall. I mentally counted to 10 to calm down and not blow up. Usually, Mom would scold me and then leave, but not that time. She folded her arms and asked me what our new teacher was like. I was surprised. How do you know about her? It turned out that our parents had been discussing Miss Wilson in their group chat. Moreover, they were outraged by her appearance. Why don't you like her? She's very cool. Mom gave me a weird look. It seemed she wanted to say something, but changed her mind in the end. A week later, the show was almost ready. We hung posters around the school and in the city. In the evening before the opening, we all headed to the loft. We had to finish work on the special effects and rehearse. Cassie caught up to us at the last moment. She said that she agreed to be Brawn and was coming with us. We changed our clothes and got ready. A lot of students were making dumb mistakes, and Miss Wilson and I had to explain everything to them several times. But everything worked out. While everyone was rehearsing, Harry was busy with the programs. There were a lot of special effects in the show. They were the most important part and added the thrill. Harry just needed to write them into the program right. And you know what? Our nerd messed everything up. At some point, the lights on the stage went out and all the equipment turned off. When the lights came back on, it turned out that the program on the computer had crashed. All the data was lost, and all the efforts of the last days had been for nothing. I was furious. I told Harry he shouldn't have taken on such an important task if he didn't know what he was doing. It's not my fault, it's just a glitch. Have you considered making a backup? Harry got angry and left, slamming the door on his way out. Great, now I would have to clean up his mess. I stayed late at the loft. Miss Wilson kept me company. We worked on the effects and retrieved the erased data. Everyone else had left, except for Cassie. Can we go home together? We live in the same direction. I told her Miss Wilson and I still had a lot of work to do. I got home around midnight. All I wanted to do was fall on the bed and pass out, but my mother interfered with those plans. Where have you been? Look at you. You have bags under your eyes from lack of sleep. I was too tired to argue with her, so I just took off my shoes and trudged to my room. But Mom wouldn't let me be. She followed and continued to scold me. What kind of teacher lets students play games in the classroom? Is she the reason why you came home so late? I was so sick of such rants. I started defending Miss Wilson, and Mom started yelling even louder. What were you even doing together? Why did you change into some costumes and pretend to be a couple? I lost my temper too. What's the big deal? It's just a show, okay? But then I paused. How did my mom know all that? It turned out that the parents' group chat was to blame again. I was so indignant, I was speechless. At least one of my classmates was snitching to their parents. I immediately guessed who it was. That idiot Harry must have ratted us out after all. In the morning, I came to school and saw him coming out of the principal's office. That made me even more suspicious. What had he been doing there? Was he snitching to the principal as well? I wanted to talk to him, but the bell rang, and Harry managed to slip away into the classroom. We played games during the class again. I decided to take a small break and relax, so I didn't notice people walk into the classroom at first. I looked up from the screen and saw the principal and other teachers. Among them was our math teacher. She immediately pointed a finger at us and told the principal, "What have we told you? Take a look at what students are doing in Miss Wilson's lessons, playing games on their phones. And don't get me started on her appearance. A teacher shouldn't look like a clown." I gritted my teeth, feeling indignant. We all stood up for our favorite teacher and said that she was doing a great job, but they were not convinced. On the contrary, The teacher said that we had gotten addicted to gaming, and it was all Miss Wilson's fault. The math teacher even demanded she be fired. I wished she would retire instead. Miss Wilson stayed silent for a long moment, and then suddenly suggested something. She invited everyone who had a problem with her to our show. Look at what the students have been doing this whole time. If you still have complaints after the show, I will resign. The teachers began to protest, but the principal stepped in and agreed to Miss Wilson's proposal. After everyone left, I comforted our kissy missy. All the other students except Harry tried to cheer her up as well. He just sat alone at a desk in the back. I wasn't the only one who had thought he had been the one to snitch. We all pounced on him. Harry denied everything and said that he hadn't told the teachers or the principal, and that wasn't why he had gone to his office. I was just asking for permission to study with another computer science teacher. Of course, we didn't believe and boycotted him. We were all very worried and kept trying to cheer Miss Wilson up with all we had. She just smiled and said that everything would be all right. In the evening, we went to the place where the show was supposed to take place. A crowd had already gathered there, and all the teachers, the principal, and even our parents had come. My mom was among them. Damn it, just what I needed. Miss Wilson, on the other hand, was running late. Minutes went by, and she was still nowhere to be seen. Our math teacher snidely said that she had probably got scared and run away. I was already beginning to seriously worry when a girl suddenly appeared in the front of the teachers. She was wearing a business suit and looked like a real businesswoman. I took a closer look at her and was stunned. It was Miss Wilson. She had completely transformed, so much that I could barely recognize her. It wasn't only her appearance that had changed, her manner of speech as well. She was serious and collected as she spoke about her education. It turned out she had studied at some of the best universities out there. She was not only an expert at computer science, but also a professional psychologist, and had recently developed an unusual project. I have been testing different teaching methods and finally found the best one. I have been allowing the students to play games so that they would relax and their brains would perceive information better. My appearance is also part of the project. Look at the results. We've been preparing for the show for a whole week. Even the students who had fallen behind got interested and participated. They all started to understand programming better after working on the special effects for the show. We've also learned to solve problems as a team. To my surprise, the principal spoke up for her. He said that Miss Wilson was an excellent specialist. He had known from the very beginning who he was hiring and approved of her methods. He had agreed to the intervention only to answer everyone's questions. Everyone was shocked, especially the teachers. They thought Miss Wilson was about to be kicked out in disgrace, but she had shown everyone up instead. Miss Wilson suddenly came over to me. She said that I had come up with the idea for the show. Then she turned to my mom. You have a very talented son. I'm sure he has a great future ahead of him. I will personally provide him with a recommendation letter for the university. That was so nice to hear. I thanked her, a bit embarrassed. When the meeting ended, the show finally began. Everything was great, except for one thing. Braun wasn't there. Where had Cassie gone off to? I decided to look for her when I had a free moment. Cassie was sitting around the corner and crying. Her dinosaur costume was lying nearby. I touched her shoulder and asked her what was wrong. She pushed me away and called me a fool. Why can't you just explain why you're upset? What have I done? To my astonishment, Cassie had been the one to tell her parents about our unusual computer science classes. She had also sent her photos of Miss Wilson with me, changing into our costumes. Complained to the teachers and asked them to talk to the principal. I was so confused. Why had she done that? Because I love you. You never pay any attention to me and always hang out with our teacher instead. A young and beautiful teacher. I wanted her to get fired. I was speechless. I stared at her blankly for several long seconds, and then I got angry. What a fool! She'd almost ruined everything. I didn't want to see her, so I left as to not blow up on her. After the show, my mom came up to me. It might be hard to believe, but she said she was proud of me and promised not to yell anymore. She only asked me to take better care of my health and at least put the gadgets away at night. The next day, we were in for another surprise at school. Our first lesson was math. We walked into the classroom and you'll never guess what we saw there. Sailor Moon was standing by the board. Just imagine, our math teacher had taken up cosplaying. To say that everyone was shocked would be to say nothing. We froze at the door. Then we couldn't help ourselves and roared with laughter. By the way, the other teachers began to apply Miss Wilson's methods as well. Now there are all sorts of different game characters walking in our school hallways. It's the best thing that could have ever happened. Miss Wilson is always coming up with new ideas. She recently introduced us to a new game. We often talk outside of school and discuss new projects. Cassie keeps bothering me, and I don't know how to get her to leave me alone. It seems like she doesn't know how to take the word no for an answer. Computer science is still everyone's favorite subject. Harry is the only one studying with another teacher. Would you like to study at a school like ours? Write in the comments down below.